Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes. Aquí tienen el horario para hoy, jueves, el 10 de diciembre. Essentially, what we're going to do is continue working on the rough draft of your project, your Mi Rutina Diaria. Chapter 2A, Elective Assessment, is the way that it's named in Canvas. And to do that, we're going to complete the Venn diagram activity, which is on exercise 6, page 79 of your textbook. Pages 74 and 75 have all of the vocabulary, the reflexive verb vocabulary, that make up much of your daily routine that you'll inevitably want to use for this project. So you can take a look at pages 74, 75. Also, page 96 gives you a comprehensive glossary of all the key terms in this chapter. It also shows you how to conjugate those reflexive verbs, although we'll practice that today on page 80. But here on page 96, you have a glossary of all the vocabulary. And then again, some example conjugations of reflexive verbs. So we're going to use that vocab and grammar to fill in this Venn diagram to indicate what time of day and how often we do each of these activities. Despertarse, levantarse, bañarse, or ducharse, whichever of the two you prefer. Cepillarse los dientes, arreglarse el pelo, vestirse, lavarse la cara, and then finally, acostarse. So for each of these verbs, you're going to conjugate them in the yo form. Like the example here, the verb ducharse, conjugated reflexively in the yo form would be me ducho. And that's what you're going to put in the Venn diagram, is the yo form of all of these verbs to indicate when you do them. Por la mañana, only in the morning. Por la noche, only at night or in the evening. Or por la mañana y por la noche, both in the morning and at night. So this would be despertarse, conjugated in the yo form, would be me despierto, me levanto, me ducho, me cepillo los dientes, me arreglo el pelo, me visto, me lavo la cara, and me acuesto. Keep in mind numbers 1, 6, and 8, the verbs despertarse, vestirse, and acostarse. Numbers 1, 6, and 8 are stem-changing verbs, meaning that these verbs have a spelling change in their stem. So that's how we get acuesto when we conjugate acostarse. The O changes to UE. Despierto, the middle E in despertarse changes to IE. And then the verb vestirse in the yo form, me visto, VISTO. So keep those in mind as you're doing your project. And from the Venn diagram, we'll do a little bit more practice with reflexive verbs. If we didn't have the opportunity on earlier this week to take down the notes for reflexive verbs, we'll do that today. Everything that's highlighted there on page 80. And again, the grammar of these verbs, because they're reflexive, because they're actions that we do to or for ourselves, they're reciprocal, we need to include a reflexive pronoun. Just like in English, myself, I brush my own teeth, I bathe myself, I wash my own face, right? In English, we would say my own or myself. And the equivalent of that in Spanish, reflexive pronouns are me, te, se, nos, and se. And you can see the relationship between the reflexive pronoun and then the ending that we're already familiar with, the o, as, a, amos, an endings, that the reflexive pronoun matches the ending and also matches the subject pronoun at the very beginning. So you see this symmetry, or this relationship between all three elements: subject, pronoun, ending. Subject or subject pronoun, reflexive pronoun, and ending. So to practice these new grammar concepts, reflexive pronouns, we're going to do exercise 8 on page 80, filling in the blank with one of the reflexive pronouns, and you're going to pay particular attention to the ending of the verb or the subject that comes at the very beginning, or both will give you an identification, an idea as to which pronoun to use. So after doing all that, we're just going to spend some time working on your rough draft of your project. Your project you can find in Canvas under the module for Chapter 2A. Project again is due on December 8th. If you're an 8A student, December 9th. If you're a B-Day student, it's worth 40 points and a great opportunity for you to increase your grade, improve upon your grade for the semester. You don't need to present, although on the day that these are due, you can present for 10% extra credit. So to come up with the project essentially is you're outlining 20 parts to your daily routine, right? What time do you wake up? What time do you get up? What time do you take a shower? What time do you have breakfast? Your class schedule, your extracurricular involvement, the hobbies and interests that you enjoy, and then how do you unwind your day? What's your evening routine? So what are the 20 highlights? What are the 20 things you want to mention that take place in any given day? Whether that's a weekday or a weekend day, you choose. You want to use maybe not all, but certainly most of the reflexive verb vocabulary that we were looking at on pages 74, 75. And then you're going to want to use some of the extracurricular activities that we've already identified. Hobbies and interests, things that you enjoy doing. Dibujar, jugar deportes, tocar música, leer, escuchar música, pasar tiempo con familia, pasar tiempo con amigos. So many things that you can include that round out your daily routine. So 20 parts to your daily routine. You're going to include the verb conjugated correctly, right? In the yo form or the nosotros form or whatever form. So each of your 20 sentences are going to begin with the verb conjugated correctly, followed by the time at which you do that activity normally, and then the time of day. We're going to work on this in class, and I'm going to send out to you an example that you can utilize kind of as a model. How do you do this project? In terms of the medium, you can do a video, you can do a PowerPoint, you can do poster or flipbook. It's really up to you, but just need to highlight 20 parts to your daily routine, essentially 20 verbs conjugated correctly with the time and the time of day at which you do each activity. And you want to write out the time the way that we express it in Spanish, not just numerically, the way it shows up on your phone. Not by number, but alphabetically, spelt out in Spanish. So again, due date is December 8th and 9th. Look forward to your to your projects and your submissions. One of my favorite projects of the year, because we kind of get insight as to what you guys are up to outside of our class, what your daily routine is like. So that is our agenda for today, muchachos. Only homework is to complete the Quizlet practice for Chapter 2A if you've not done so, and then just keep on plugging away. Maybe pick that day that you want to record the video or take pictures of you doing your thing. Images need to be included in your daily routine. An image for each of the 20 things that you do. So have fun with it. Be creative. Be goofy if you so choose. And look forward to those submissions and look forward to seeing you guys in class. Adios, muchachos. Ciao.